When a federal non-tax debt enters collection, the government relies on specific records to support the claim. Those records are known as proof of debt. Proof of debt consists of the documentation that establishes the debt's existence and legal enforceability. These records are created and maintained by the creditor agency before the debt enters federal collection. Proof of debt typically includes the original obligation, account history, and agency certifications. These records work together to support the debt as it is being collected, rather than standing alone as a single document. Once a debt enters cross-servicing, those records are relied upon to justify continued collection. However, proof of debt is not always transferred automatically when the debt is referred. Instead, the creditor agency must be able to produce the records if they are requested. Reviewing proof of debt allows borrowers to see what documentation the government is relying on. This review focuses on whether the records are complete, consistent, and tied to the correct borrower. It also examines how the debt was established and how it became delinquent. In some cases, the records clearly support the debt as asserted. In other cases, gaps, inconsistencies, or missing information may become apparent. Proof of debt can also clarify long gaps between the original obligation and current collection activity. That context helps explain why collection is occurring now, even if the debt is several years old. For many borrowers, reviewing proof of debt confirms that the obligation is real and documented. For others, it raises questions about whether the records fully support the debt as claimed. Federal regulations place the initial burden on the creditor agency to establish the debt. Agencies must maintain records sufficient to support the existence and amount of the obligation. Proof of debt becomes relevant when the validity or accuracy of a claim is questioned. A request for proof of debt tests whether those records are available and complete at the time collection is challenged. Reviewing these records replaces assumptions with documented facts. It helps borrowers understand what is supported, what is unclear, and what may require follow-up. Proof of debt review is often the point where borrowers move from reacting to actively engaging the process. It does not change the status of the account, but it changes how borrowers understand the claim. That understanding shapes how borrowers decide to respond. This review reframes the issue from enforcement activity to documentation. Documentation is what connects that legal authority to a specific borrower and obligation. If the record cannot support the claim as presented, the government must address that gap. For borrowers, this review clarifies what the government's position is actually based on. Proof of debt review serves as an internal checkpoint for how the record has been built and maintained. From there, borrowers can evaluate how the documented record aligns with the current collection action. At its core, proof of debt is about documentation, accuracy, and legal support. Some borrowers choose to review proof of debt with an advocate to better understand their options before deciding how to proceed.